I suck at jiu-jitsu. How do I suck less at jiu-jitsu?
I guess to suck less.
Ladies and gentlemen, the diabolical leader of the Headlock Squad,
Hey everybody, this is Josh McKinney, and I just want to welcome you to the newest episode of the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show. So, today, I have a very special guest for you guys, and this episode has been posted before. This is a repost, but early on in the show, I was locked in my house during the pandemic. And so I was really recording a lot of episodes and then posting a lot of episodes. And this is before we had a posting schedule on the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show. And when I look back through, there are two kind of episodes that I look to repost. Episodes that people really love. And I'm like, hey, new listeners would like to hear this. And I think it would be valuable. But the other one is episodes that didn't get near as many listens as they should have. And to me, this is one of those episodes. And it was something that, like, you know, I was posting so many episodes at that time. I think a lot of episodes kind of just got lost in Josh has posted 7 episodes in 7 days, and I'm going to listen to the one with the world champion that I know of, you know? And so I think a lot of people missed some really good interviews, and that is what we're going to look at today with Jared. And as usual, I will be sure to link to talk a little more after the episode about the new episode, just to give you guys a little extra content with the repost, but also to, you know, sometimes you're talking about things and then later on you're like, oh wow, this is how that ended up playing out. And so we'll get into all of that too. But besides that, I think you guys are just gonna enjoy this episode. It is so much fun. It's so lighthearted. And Jared will be on the show again. We've been messaging back and forth, just looking for kind of a time to get scheduled. Baby McKinney coming has been, you know, makes the recording a little bit hard because, like, every time you schedule anything with somebody in those last few weeks of pregnancy, you're going, well, this is like a kind of plan, you know, like if there's a good chance it doesn't, we don't get to do this. And so, you know, just trying to get that scheduled and get it ready, but we will be doing it soon. And I'm telling you guys, we have a really fun plan for what we're going to do. We've actually been planning on what we're going to do on that episode for months. And so you guys will really like it when Jared comes back on the show. And that's why I really wanted to reintroduce you to him. If it's, you know, if you've never heard this episode, or if you've heard this episode before, but then just introduce you to him if you have never heard this episode, if you've never heard this episode. Man, having a little trouble talking today. But luckily, we're doing a repost episode, so it's okay. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode.
Check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good, man. That was perfect. That's the whole interview right there.
That's a perfect check. 1 2.
We're done, man. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hanging in there. Self-quarantining a little bit. I'm here with family and stuff in the house, you know, just chilling, going stir crazy like everybody else.
Yeah, what do you do, like, during this time? You know, we obviously can't really do much, but...
Yeah, I mean, just chilling around the house, playing with my daughter. She's going wild around the house and stuff like that. We set up a mini little jiu-jitsu academy in the basement. Some mats and some wall pads, having a little fun there. But I do, as you know, I do have a second job as a police officer. So, like, I've been off the last 3 days. So that's kind of been my way to get out of the house a little bit when I'm working. So I'm starting night work tomorrow, and then going to be out of the house again. But, you know, and it's a little scary times out there too, because we really are not trying to come into contact with too many people and this and that. So
For
Yeah,
sure.
so it's been stressful on both ends. Obviously, the business isn't open, the school's not open right now, and then the police related stuff is stressful too because we don't want to get sick or we don't want to bring anything home to my family or anything like that. So a lot going on.
Is it is it busier as a police officer right now, or what's kind of going on with that?
Actually, believe it or not, it's been eerily quiet out there.
Yeah.
The call volume has subsided tremendously. We're not doing any traffic stops. We're not doing any pedestrian stops. We're not doing any suspicious vehicles. Obviously, if it's life altering or if it's a serious situation, somebody's driving all over the street, going up on curbs and stuff, I'm going to stop it to
Uh-huh.
make sure it's not an intoxicated driver or anything. But it's been eerily quiet, and I'm figuring now that I'm going on the night work, we got to be on the lookout more for like burglaries and thefts from autos and stuff like that. And because people are out there taking advantage of these quiet times, so we got to be on point for that.
Of course, of course. So how long have you been a police officer for?
Over 10 years now.
What did you have a reason that you wanted to become a police officer? Was that what was your reason behind that?
Back in the day, I did a few ride-alongs with some students actually who were local cops, and then I thought it was a cool job, and I saw the fun part when I went on the ride-alongs. You know what I mean? I didn't see the paperwork part. I didn't see the politics part. I didn't see the stress part. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But yeah, it was a cool job, and I always said, like in a weird way, that having a second job, even though I'm an academy owner, having a second job. You never know when you might really, really need it. And, look what we're in now. You know what I mean? I have a second full-time job. And, fortunately, I still have a paycheck coming in and, health benefits and all that good stuff. Like, dude, like, who knows when my academy is going to reopen? Like, this area right now, in the Philadelphia area is crushed with this. With the virus. So we have a lot of serious cases going on here, a lot of deaths now popping up. And then man, they're talking about May, June at this point. Yeah. Hopefully we're open before that, but dude, that's scary for me because that's not just my baby. Obviously my academy is my baby. That's I still look at that as like my number one. You know what I mean? Even though I'm an officer, like my jiu-jitsu academy is my baby. Our 18-year anniversary is on April 4th, so that's coming up in a few days. And to not be open for going on a month now is like it's breaking my heart, breaking my students' hearts. Like it's killing me not being in there with my crew every day, and even just the camaraderie and seeing the guys and stuff is like it's eating me up alive. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Dude, you're right. That's what we miss though. That's like, I've been giving my students so much technique stuff, so much stuff like that, but man, I just miss my guys, I miss my miss making fun of them, miss getting made fun of, just that, jiu-jitsu,
Yeah. It's killing me. That's like just not like we could put out a million videos, on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever, but that's not going to replace that live human contact with our crew and our people that we see it day in and day out. Even the kids' classes, like I miss these kids. They're in there, like and this is something positive for them. And them missing practice for almost a month now, it's disturbing. Like it's bothering me, and I don't know how long we're going to be in this thing for. And I'm not necessarily scared of the business aspect of it yet. Like going out of business or anything like that. That's not going to happen with us. Knock on wood, but that's not going to happen with us. We've been around too long and we got too much invested into this. That's not really a main concern. It's just a matter of having to start over and rebuilding things. And how people have like PTSD off of traumatic events? What's the human PTSD going to be from this situation? Are people going to be afraid to touch each other, have contact with each other, or, shake hands, shake and go?
Slap bump, yeah.
Yeah, like what's the PTSD factor of this going to be on our business, on training, on our people? Are we just going to be like, forget it, we're clear, let's rock and roll? Or are we still going to have that little bit? Is Is this Rona? We in Philly we call it the Rona because you know how it is over here. We call it the Rona. So is the Rona? Is the yeah. No, you got to call it. It is what it is, the Rona. But is that still going to be lingering in people's minds? Like, yeah, we're clear to get back to some daily life, but does that cat still have the Rona in his lungs, and are we still going to be passing this left and right?
Yeah, man,
So
it's stressful.
yeah. So I don't know, but I'm hoping to get back to normal business soon, see my people, make fun of them. You know, we were on our team, did our group chat yesterday and stuff like that, which was awesome. And right away we started making fun of each other. Like we saw Watson right away. We saw Will Martinez's neck was enormous, dude. Like, damn, Will, you're 200 bills right now. Like, what are you doing? But I miss this a lot. I can't wait to get back to work.
Yeah, dude, I totally understand. So how do you manage having a full-time job and teaching classes? Because I'm sure do you have like kind of a rotating schedule with your other instructors, or how does that work?
I do. I have an amazing staff, and like you run a school. It's very difficult to run, if you got other stuff going on. So my staff's amazing. Tom, Billy, Jeremy, as the managers there, they run the shop, and I couldn't do it without them. They're incredible. So our teaching schedule, everybody has a Farrell, bless you. That was a good one. Our teaching schedule remains the same. So the way my schedule works is I have a short week and a long week. All right. So like my long week working will be Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. And my short week will only be Wednesday, Thursday. All right. So then I'll have the Monday, Tuesday off and then the whole weekend off. So realistically, the classes I was teaching anyway, I was only teaching Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday for the most part. All right. So I'm realistically only missing one of those days every other week. Like I'm rotating the Tuesday and the Wednesday with Tom or Billy, whoever wants to take it. So I'm still in that. And when I'm on night work, I don't have to go in till 7 at night or whatever. So for Saturdays, I wait, I get a few hours sleep. I wake up. I still get to my 12:30 class on Saturday, come home, take a nap, and go to night work. You know what I mean? So I'm honestly not missing that much, which this 12-hour schedule, the short week, long week is perfect for me.
Yeah. Okay. So when you are teaching, do you feel like, I've been to probably 4 your seminars, something like that, 3, 4. But when you're teaching, do you feel like you kind of have the same style of teaching at your classes as you do when it's a seminar?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I try to keep it fun. We break a little stones. I broke your arm twice the last time.
You broke my arm 2 sets, and both were on video, I think. Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Actually, we have, but we should post that later. I broke your arm twice in the same day.
Yes.
Was it the same arm or was it both arms?
I believe it was the same arm.
I broke the same arm.
No. I honestly think that there might have been 3 times, because I think you were showing that same arm lock again. That's when it was my right arm again. And then you had that Kimura triangle where they were taking pictures of me in it. And I think that was my left arm.
Yeah.
I believe you got both. It's tough to tough to know for sure.
Yeah. No, it was, the first one, the 2-on-1 was your left arm. And the second one was your right arm. Yeah, I broke both your arms in one day.
Man.
Hey, dude, it's better. You recover from that? You all right?
I'm gonna write a book one day, and it's gonna be called the life of the Uki, and it's just gonna talk all about how everybody that's ever done a seminar at Kyle's for whatever reason is like, oh yeah, hey Josh, I'll use you. You seem like a nice guy. You seem durable.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to throw Kyle under the bus. That comes from up top. That's an order straight from the top right there. The boss man over there, boss man Watson says, "Yo, I'm sore today. Make sure you use Josh as the Uki." All right, so that's an order. That's an order from the boss over there.
Okay, I always knew that there was some reason that it always happened to me. Okay, so we'll just get started. Actually, so I just with nothing being on TV too. You're a pretty big sports guy, aren't you?
Yes.
What do you like? What do you watch?
I'm a football, hockey, baseball, and even like the Sixers were getting good again. So I'm an all Philly guy. You know what I mean? Through and through. But I'm a big football guy. I'm a lifelong Eagles, Flyers, Phillies fan, and there's nothing right now. Nothing. Oh,
Yeah.
we just Phillies opening day was supposed to be the other day, and it was nothing. There's no opening day. The Eagles are in an off season right now, but they're still rebuilding, signing some guys right now. And the Flyers were on a run to make a Stanley Cup run all of a sudden right now, and that gets shut off like boom, like that. So now we got no hockey, no opening day, and the Sixers, they were fading anyway, so whatever. And a few of the Sixers got the Rona too, so we don't know what was going on
Yeah.
there. So yeah, so there's nothing, no sports right now, no jiu-jitsu right now, there's nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, but how would the Flyers have handled the Blues, the defending Stanley Cup champions?
We would have beat the brakes off of the Blues this go around right now.
Dude,
Yeah,
the Blues are sharper than last year.
nah, I'm not feeling it. And how about this though? Do you remember that Philly had a huge Blues following last year when the Blues won the Cup? And actually, Philly was pulling for the Blues. That whole song that you guys were using over there,
The Gloria, yeah.
Yeah, the Gloria song. They had bars in South Philly just for that. All these Blues fans. I couldn't participate because I won't sell out my people like that. But I was pulling for the Blues too. Yeah, you guys
Okay,
are.
I get it. I get it. All right, so you played a bunch of different sports too, just growing up, right?
I did. I played ice hockey. All right. I skateboarded fairly seriously. All right. So yeah, my dad played professional baseball, but I played baseball a little bit when I was a kid, but wasn't really my thing. Played soccer. Played lacrosse for like 2 games when I was a kid, and I got kicked out of the league for fighting immediately. Yeah, I got the boot. So yeah, I was a big ice hockey guy, skateboarding guy. That was my thing. And I started jiu-jitsu in high school, so that kind of took over.
So like you said, your dad played professional. He played for the Phillies, right?
He did.
So how long did he play for?
I played for a few years, like in the minors. He got drafted right out of the Army. And then they drafted him out of the Army. He played with the Phillies organization, the Expos organization, I think the Oakland A's organization maybe. So he got a back injury, fielding the ground ball. He was a first baseman. That was it. Career was over right there. Never recovered from that. And back in his era, he was competing for that job with like the Bull, Lazinski, and some real famous Philadelphia names back in the day. So, once he went down with that injury, that was it.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to play baseball, obviously, as a kid, and I wasn't super into baseball, like it was fun, but he was still coaching baseball and playing in like adult beer leagues and like competitive semi-pro leagues till later in his life. So yeah, he's a wild man. He still fist fights in his apartment building to this day.
Does he?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten him on the mats?
Yeah, a little bit. I let him choke me and stuff. You know what he was doing the last few days? This is how wild he is. He set up he obviously saw the YouTube videos from people in Italy like singing the songs and stuff to each other in the apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad goes and sets up a karaoke machine in his apartment building, sticks the karaoke machine out the window, all right, and starts taking requests from people, all right, and starts singing karaoke songs to people all over like the floors of his apartment outside, acting like it's a radio station. He's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And like me and my brother are watching live on Zoom or whatever, and we're just like, oh my God, Dad's gonna get a police complaint. They're gonna come and shut him down. But yeah, he's going wild right now. He's quarantined, going nuts.
Yeah, dude, I struggle with it enough. The people that got ADD, man, they are like bouncing off the walls in their houses,
Yeah, he's singing songs to people.
So you mentioned that you were pretty into skateboarding at one point. You were sponsored, correct?
Yep.
Yes. You're. How old were you around that time?
Oh, I started skating at a very, very young age. I started skating, young, probably pre-teens. I even was skating like as a young kid, and then I started taking it serious like through like high school, middle school, high school, after high school. So I was skating and doing jiu-jitsu at the same time. I remember I skated at Love Park in Philly every day, which is it's the famous spot in Philadelphia. All right. And I remember I would come with a backpack and I'd have my gi in my backpack. I'd skate the first half of the day. Our original jiu-jitsu academy is right down the street from Love Park. So I'd go train, come back, skate Love Park, go get a night session, back to jiu-jitsu. So it'd be like back and forth every day. honestly, the first time I went into the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, I was actually skating by it down Chestnut Street, and I saw one of my boys coming out of the academy who I skated with, and he called me over, introduced me to Steve Maxwell, and I went in, checked it out, and that was it. So it was all meant to be.
That's awesome.
The two brought me together.
And they kind of, I mean, depending on what area you're from, they kind of do have a similar vibe. Like a lot of people, like in Brazil and stuff, they say like, oh yeah, that's like the surfing vibe. But kind of some of the probably Philly, East Coast rough jiu-jitsu kind of has a little more of a skateboarding vibe, I would think.
I would say my style of skateboarding and my style of jiu-jitsu parallel 100%, like perfectly. Like when I skated, my style, I wasn't super like over the top technical with all the flippy tricks. I was big into heel flips, 360 flips, crooked grinds, nose, like just, I kept it fairly basic, but kept it technical and basic at the same time. But I like to go fast and I like to go hard, and I was aggressive, hitting the handrails and doing stuff like that. And you kind of parallel that to my jujitsu. You rarely ever see me getting fancy. You rarely ever see me rolling up and all upside down. I'd break my neck if I did something like that. So like, yeah, I'm too old for that. But I'll surprise you sometimes. Don't sleep. So like, yeah, same style, straightforward, hard, fast, aggressive. In jiu-jitsu, skating, straightforward, fast, hard, aggressive, go big or go home, pretty much type style, you know? So East Coast.
When's the last time you skated?
I was literally 2 days ago trying to teach my kid how to skateboard. So we were out front, like in some fresh air, getting a little quarantine fresh air going on, and we were cruising up and down the street a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I got on that board and cruised around a little bit.
Do you do it often?
Not much. Like me and my boy Pete. You ever meet Pete yet from here? One of the black belts, Saris. But
I don't think so.
Yeah. So he still skates sometimes too. And if we don't got nothing going on, we'll go get a little session in and go cruise around a park or something like that. Like I said, we're not trying to do big tricks like that anymore or whatever. But like, you know, it's good to just get out there and cruise around.
Yeah, I'm sure. I my skateboarding career was very short-lived when I realized how unathletic I was, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the patience for this. So then I took up, jiu-jitsu, which you can learn so quickly and, just jump right in and be a black belt in, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't need any athletic activity, any athletic skills for that either. But
Exactly. So there wasn't much logic.
You just got, like I said the other day, you just need the good looks like you have, and that's your tailor-made for jiu-jitsu right there.
Exactly. People don't know if you're good or not when you're posting Instagram videos. That's how it goes. You just act like it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a few of those out there. There's definitely some actors out there who they make themselves look good a little bit on the video. You know what I'm saying? And then real life comes and knocks on their door a little bit, and then Anyway, go ahead.
I found out if you just don't compete or roll with anybody, nobody can question it.
Yeah, it's true. You're always good then.
Yeah. Like, dude, I swear I'm really good. I just can't show you, but in my
No, I can't show you. I could film nonstop techniques on the gram, you know what I mean? And, give my false profit to the students, you know what I'm saying? And they believe that I'm incredible, you know what I mean? But they're absolutely dreadful.
That is true. Okay, so just kind of stepping back for a second, we were talking about your dad playing for the Phillies. He kind of was pushing for baseball, but you weren't really into it. How did he respond to that?
He was cool. I got no pressure growing up for any sport to really play. You know what I mean? Like, he was cool. He just wanted me in athletic activity. You know what I mean? Out of trouble, athletic activity. So hockey it was. I played ice hockey from when I was like 6, 7 years old, all the way up to senior in high school as well. So like I played hockey for a long, long time, and he was up with me at those 4 a.m.s, taking me to those 2 to 4 hour drives to go play games in freezing cold rinks first thing in the morning. That was a grind. But we loved it back in the day. So hockey was our thing. And he was one of those fighting dads too in the stands, with the other parents from the other teams. That got a little embarrassing at times, but yeah, there was definitely some epic parent brawls, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Dad's doing it again. What are you doing?
Dude,
So,
well, we've seen him in jiu-jitsu too.
oh,
Those
we
that-
actually had a notoriously tough group of parents. So it wasn't just like my dad. They all fed off of each other. So we had yeah, we had a group of parents that were absolute maniacs that at times that whole group of parents were not allowed into the rink to watch the games because we were so notorious. So, we had crushers. Our parents would fist fight, they'd street fight, they'd break bull horns from the other team, smash the bull horns, throw them on the ice. Like, it was, we were notorious. It was epic.
Man, that is
A mix of wild. Yeah, the stories are endless. Yeah. Fighting parents. Yeah.
In growing up in Philly, is that something that does everybody fight?
No, not everybody fights, but it's definitely a blue collar city, or it was a blue collar city for the most part. The landscape has changed a little bit over the years, but Eagles fans, old school diehard Eagles fans, are a different breed. We're notorious, if you ever come into the link to watch a game, or back in the day, the Veteran Stadium to watch a game, and you had another team's jersey on, it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. And you should know better coming into Philly. But you know what? We expect that same treatment if we go to an away game somewhere too. We've gone to some away games, and the only time I ever got punched at a game was when I went down to Washington. I went to see the Eagles play the Washington Redskins. Some 12-year-old kid ran up to me and punched me in the chest. I'm wearing an Eagles jersey. What am I going to do? I'm surrounded by like 100 Redskins fans. I'm not going to go punch some 12-year-old kid back. But I got snuffed, So I'm like, all right, here you go. I was like, but that's just how it is. East Coast is a little different sometimes. But, Pittsburgh gets it in too. That's Pennsylvania. They're rough. Cleveland gets it in. They're rough. And Oakland gets it in too, out there for sure. But nothing like the Eagles fans, man. We're different. Everybody knows it too.
That is that is awesome to to really see people that really care about their sports teams. When we were in St. Louis, it's baseball, right? Everything's about the Cardinals, and I love the Cardinals with all my heart, but I hate Cardinals fans. They are there is this thing, and some announcer at one point claimed that the Cardinals have the best fans in baseball. So there is this arrogance to Cardinals fans because they've been so good, for years. They haven't the last couple of years, but they've been so good for years, and they're very proper. Our stadium's super nice, and and so they're kind of annoying. Well, one time we went to LA. It was actually during Nogi World, so it would have been October, and it was the playoffs. We were playing the Dodgers, and we were obviously in LA. We went in, and we're all wearing Cardinals gear like idiots, and LA gets a little gangster sometimes. Yep. And and people were being fun with us for the whole time that the Dodgers were killing us. Clayton Kershaw was pitching. We had one hit against him. It was a home run. He was just dominating us, though. There was 9-1, and the Cardinals started coming back, and then people stopped being joking with us, and then we're watching people Cardinals Dodgers fans getting in fights, and it got to this point where it's 8-9, and we're 1 point behind him. I'm like, dude, we need to go. This is, we are really about to get jumped. And we left. We took they're like, yeah, you can wait for the bus. And at that time, when we're out of the stadium, the Cardinals are now up 13-9. And so people are coming out of the stadium, and they are looking for someone wearing red to beat up. And we're like, nah, we'll take a $60 taxi home. We're not doing this. And but it's fun to be around fans that will beat you up just for supporting a different team.
Yeah, when I was at the I saw some Cardinals games. The last one I went to was remember when we fought on Respect. I went with Watson to the Cardinals game. We had great seats right in center field also. Beautiful stadium, beautiful ballpark, by the way. It was fun, but it was very relaxed. It was very proper, like you said. It was very chill. There was no threat of violence in the stands. You know what I mean? Like you come to a Phillies game. I mean, we've all seen the dude from the Phillies fan on Instagram with the Philly fanatic tattooed around his belly button. Like, dude's an animal. You know what I mean? How you gonna go up to that dude like that? But that's classic. Like that's classic Philadelphia right there. So, but yeah, that's funny you said that. My uncle went to a Phillies Dodgers game in L.A. and had a problem out there too with some gangster style dudes. You know what I mean? And he was sitting up top too, so it got a little uncomfortable. He said for him. So yeah, they keep it G out there for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It is good. Okay, so back to jiu-jitsu. The point of the show. I have a problem where somebody starts talking about pretty much any sport. I will talk about it all day. I love sports, but my favorite sport is still jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So you have been training for like 24, 25 years?
Yeah, I started in 1995. So what do we
Okay.
go? We're going on. What is that? What are we going on?
25, man. We're
25
20.
years?
Yeah, we're 2020. So
Yeah, 25 years. I've seen a lot of changes in the martial art and the sport over those 25 years. Definitely. I've been doing this for a little while now.
and that was kind of where I wanted to go with it. Is what was it? If you could paint us like a picture of what jiu-jitsu was like at that time, what was it like?
Okay, when I started in 95, it was pretty much self-defense. It was strictly like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu self-defense. We've all seen like the Gracie in action tapes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen those, back? Yeah, those are good
Yeah.
VHS tapes back in the day, the Gracie in actions. So we really were in there wanting to learn how to fight,
Mm-hmm.
street fight, or just fight. Learn how to use Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in a fight. That was the ultimate goal. Um, so then but we were still learning how to grapple. We were learning how to use the gi. We were learning how to choke and do it, but it was very basic. A lot like every class was self-defense. But Steve Maxwell, our original teacher, was a very good wrestler. So he brought that hard-nosed wrestling style of takedowns and stuff into the jiu-jitsu mix there too. So we kind of had that advantage from the door, unlike other academies, I guess, or we were one of the original academies in the area at that time, but we would start from the feet even back in the day, like with takedowns and stuff like that. So we had that advantage, like takedowns. But it was very self-defense. There'd be a lot of challenge matches back in the day. Because there was that $10,000 or whatever the dollar amount was Gracie challenge back in the day
Mm-hmm.
where if you walked into the school and could beat up one of the students fight, there'd be that challenge. So no bullshit. Every week there was a new challenge because it was so new back then. Karate guys would be coming in, Taekwondo guys, boxers, Thai fighter, you name it. So we saw some bloody ass fights back in the day in the dojo. I may or may not have been involved in a few of them back in the day. But yeah,
Before you were a police officer, though.
oh yeah. So like as a blue belt, I definitely had a few challenge matches in there. I had some straight up like bare knuckle fist fights, like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu challenge matches back in the day. Um, but yeah, that was the thing. And then we went on our first team trip to Brazil in 99, I think. It was 1999. Actually, we went and competed in Pan before that. So we started and no, let's even step back before that. I'd say like 90 there was always in-house tournaments, right? So I fought in my first in-house tournament immediately after I started jiu-jitsu. I won my division as a scrawny little white belt and got choked to sleep in the open class in the finals as a white belt, my first tournament. And then there was an in-house tournament, I'd say in like 96. Just got my blue belt. And then we would fight like the local Yamazaki tournaments in like 97, 98. So like the tournament scene was starting to pop up a little bit. Nagas came in, Grappler's Quest came in a little bit. And then so we were seeing that there was actually a sport with this. You know what I mean? So it was not just all self-defense. Fought in Pan for the first time, I think it was 98 or 99 down in Florida. And then we did a group trip to Brazil in 99. All right, 1999. This is where it all changed for me. All right. I saw a level of sport jiu-jitsu which I never could fathom before when I went down to Brazil. Okay. Um, we fought in the worlds. I had a few fights in blue belt. That was eye-opening because there was these positions, half guard, all this spider guard, like it was definitely ahead. They were ahead down there with the technical aspect of things, back then. And every day I would go and train, or I would take private lessons with people when I was down there. A lot of my teammates were out partying, living the lifestyle, doing their thing, but I didn't get into all that. I went and trained every day. All right. And that trip literally changed my whole outlook on jiu-jitsu. So I was getting all these new technical positions. I became obsessed with half guard back then and this and that. I remember the best private lesson I took was with Ricardo Laborio. All right. I was a blue belt, took a private with Laborio, and he taught me like some nice open guard sweeps. He taught me some guard passing, which I still use to this day. And it was just an all out eye opener. And that trip changed me. And that's what made me want to take the sport thing to a whole nother level. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does. So in 99, you start to take it to another level. You come back. What does it look like after that going on from 99?
So after that trip, I probably between 99 and I'd say like 2011, I must have gone to Brazil like 30 times, 35 times, a lot. I went a lot. And to train jiu-jitsu, I trained a little bit in Rio, trained a bunch in Sao Paulo. So I was training at different places and stuff like that, just, different gyms, getting different feels and stuff. I kept good relations with everybody, so I felt welcomed everywhere. And it was just pretty awesome. I was just trying to every belt. I trained every belt in Brazil. I did, except white belt. I did blue, purple, brown, and black. Every belt I was there training, competing too in Brazil at every belt. And, and these are experiences that, are invaluable to me,
And so at this point, you stopped. When was the last time you went to Brazil?
I think the last time I went to Brazil, I think it was 2011 or 2012, 2011 maybe for it was Master Worlds. So I haven't been there for a while. Me and Yamasa went together. Marcus Torregrossa. We were roommates and we went together to Brazil to compete and try to close out the division together. He ended up winning that year, I think. Yamasa won. I lost in the quarters or something. That was a good time. That was the last time I was there, and that trip was awesome. We trained with like Von der Braga during that trip. And I remember Napalm, big Gabriel Napalm. He was at Vonder's school, and we were literally like getting ready to compete the next day or the day after. And he's like, Napalm's an enormous human being. And he's like, come on, guys, let's train. And me and Yamasa were both lightweights. Oh, he put a smashing on us like you wouldn't. Yeah, it was crazy. But that experience is amazing, training with some of these best dudes to play the game. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man. So what stopped you going over there?
I think just, the job, the academy, police work, the level here caught up to, and you shouldn't look at it as like caught up, but a lot of the guys we were going to Brazil to train with were now moving here. Yeah. That's the truth of it. And I got to mention too, when I went to Sao Paulo, I would always go train with Godoy. Roberto Godoy, who probably, in my opinion, is some of the best training I ever had in my career. I always learned so much from Godoy as well. Like he's sick. We'll talk about a sick competitor too, and mean,
yeah.
and just yeah. I learned, and so yeah, a lot of those guys moved here. Like when I'd go to Brazil too, in Rio, I would train with Leo Dalla, and he moved here. He lives in Virginia now. So like all the guys you trek there to see, are here. So, it would kind of save that trip a bit. And the level here, look at California, look at the East Coast, look at all these guys, Midwest even. Like it's crazy. The best dudes in the world are living here now.
Yeah, and that is true. And that's really brought up just the level of jiu-jitsu in general. I think probably the internet too has been a huge factor in it. There's so much information. I have white belts that will ask me about positions, and I'm like, man, when I was a white belt, I was 15 steps behind this,
Hey guys, Josh here. Just wanted to interrupt this episode and tell you guys about something that has been getting asked about way too much. When are the new I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show rash guard and short sets coming out again? When are we going to be able to order them again? Well, you can order them from now until Halloween, okay, until October 31st. So we did one order of these, and it was about 9 months ago, and the order did super well. It might have been 6 months ago, who knows how long ago it was, but the order did super well. And I think a lot of people think, oh, well, if an order does well, you know, Josh is going to be full of it when he says, hey, I don't know if we'll do another one of these again, and I definitely don't know when we're going to do another one. A lot of times that's a sales tactic. It isn't. I am lazy, and I may never do another order again of rash guards and gis. This could be the last one. And I'm not saying that as a sales tactic. I'm saying it so you guys understand that this is your chance. If you send me a message in a month and you're like, Josh, I missed out, when are you going to do another one? I will do the same thing I do with every message and not respond. So if you guys are interested, if you want to look fresh, if you want to support the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show, if you want to let other people know that you suck at Jiu-Jitsu, you can get the rash guard and short set at imposedwill.com right now from now until October 31st. And we have a gi also available for pre-order designed by your boy, Josh McKinney. Well, designed by your boy, Josh McKinney, and the gi designer that works at Imposed Will. But designed by those two people that you guys know and love. And this gi is, again, it's going to be available for this time for pre-order. Generally, it takes about 6 weeks after the pre-order for everything to get here. So it should be getting here right around Christmas time. And it should be awesome. You guys will absolutely love this. Be sure to check it out at imposedwill.com, and be sure to pre-order now, because most likely I will never do another pre-sale of anything again. How long have I been telling you guys that I'm going to make a guard passing instructional? It's been about 3 years and I haven't done it. Just know that this is probably the last chance you'll ever get to rep I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show gear. Be sure to check it out. Let's get back to the episode.
But any person or handful of people that kind of stand out as in training that you have just thought were just another level?
Yeah, definitely. So let's take it from back in the day to modern. You know what I mean? So I mentioned Godoy, I mentioned Dalla. I've trained with Salo. Salo was amazing, like next level. You know, who else? Like there were so many dudes. It's crazy. The list is endless of guys I've rolled with over the years, but those guys really stand out from like back in the day, like legends. Van der Braga, another legend from back in the day. Shaolin, another legend from back in the day. Like I've had the opportunity to roll with all these guys over the years, and it was just like sick jiu-jitsu. Trying to make sure Megaton, train with Megaton a bunch, like, you know, so I don't know. Like, but yeah, Godoy, in my opinion, he was like one of my most fun training, because like he'd crush me and kill me and batter me and beat me. But at the same time, like I'd be learning something every time. Same with Dalla. Dalla is awesome. So modern day, current day, JT Torres. I train with JT often, so that's always an experience. I train with Lucas Lepre, like amazing. You know, just a whole, so all these top dudes like that I've had Liera Jr. I've rolled with recently. He's so good too. Like, and I have a ton of sick dudes to train with every day, but those guys really stand out to me.
So if you look at the guys,
sorry, let me stop. Bruno Frazzato, I've trained with a bunch. Bruni is awesome. Like, yo, there's so many. My list, but yo, all these guys are sick. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I love that, man. That's one of the fun things.
Josh McKinney was a beast. I trained with that kid recently.
Never heard of her. But like when you look at that, when you look at those guys that you feel like maybe are a step above or are just a lot of times we're just say like, man, rolling with this person is like different. Do you think that there is anything that you could put your finger on that makes them that way?
Yeah. So let's talk about JT and Lucas. All right. JT and Lucas Lepre, like these two dudes stand out to me the most, who I've rolled with over the last few years. It was a feeling like I never felt from any of those names that I mentioned on that list. They're both, besides being incredible athletes, they're just constant forward pressure and constant, like no let up, but slow, methodical, and just perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's the best way to describe it with those two. That's why I think their fights against one another are so amazing. Both on that, just like that level where any given day, either one of these guys can get the W, you know? And I respect both of these. Obviously, me and JT have a very close relationship, and I'm friends with Lucas as well. But like these two, it's just, I guess the best way to describe these guys' jiu-jitsu is perfect. Perfect positioning, perfect placement, perfect body awareness. It's beautiful. It's beautiful and violent at the same time. Like it's absolutely perfect. So props to those dudes. They really mastered this thing. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's something I always love to look at with JT, especially. Obviously, Lucas is amazing too, but just in specifically JT's game, the tightness that he plays, that's a very hard game to teach and to learn. Yes. Because it's step by step. There are 20 steps to the things that he's doing when he's smashing these guys in half guard. And so you have to win 20 different battles, and he does it every time. Yeah. And so that's something that's always amazing to me to watch is there's very little huge movements. They're very short, small, win. And he just does it to the best guys in the world.
The best guys, everybody. And he does it the same to everybody. It doesn't matter like what belt you are. It's just perfect, man. Like that's the best way to describe it. If you never had the opportunity to train with JT Torres, I recommend getting out to Essential or bringing JT into you or whoever's watching it and just get on the mat with him and feel it out. You know what I mean? It's special. It's definitely a special feeling. You know,
that's really.
I gave JT his black belt, by the way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
2009. But he was, even when JT came to me back in the day, he was already a special athlete. He was so gifted already. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit here and take any credit for anything JT's accomplished. But like we have that special bond, you know, that brotherhood that's always going to be there. But you know, he's incredible, and I think the roles have kind of reversed at this point. I really just try to learn from him as much as possible now. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And so you look at those guys too. There was a thing with Wayne Gretzky's like pee-wee hockey coach, and they were asking him like, well, what did you do with Wayne Gretzky? And he's like, I didn't do anything different than I did with every other kid that's ever come in. It's just like this dude was special, you know? And you see that in jiu-jitsu with certain guys that they're special when it comes to, you know, competing, training, understanding the game. And so it's really fun to get to see guys like that.
Yeah. But one last thing, special for sure, but work ethic second to none also for these guys. That part sometimes, you know, people say, oh, they're just naturally gifted athletes and practitioners, but their work ethic to be champions the way they all are, it's second to none. So you got to give props for that as well.
Oh my gosh. And I think guys that train jiu-jitsu, they understand that things don't come easy, you know, as you train. I mean, it's a special thing if you have a guy that can get a blue belt in a year, you know, and that's like oh my gosh, this guy got his blue belt that quickly, you know, and he's that good. And, you know, to think about like, you're just at level 1 when you get there, you know, and so, you know, there is so much time that goes into this, you know, goes into this sport and this art. Yeah. So for you, Do you have any kind of goals that you're kind of focused on when it comes to competing? Because that's something we haven't really even talked much about with you yet, and that's something you're known for as being a really good competitor.
At this point, like I'm not gonna say I'm content with like my competition accolades, I guess, but I'm not forcing myself to compete as much as I used to, just for health reasons and it hasn't become it's not a top priority to me anymore. And
Hmm.
I guess it goes up and down. You know what I mean? Like I told myself like a few years ago I was retired, I was done competing, and then I came back. I got that urge after I got physically cleared from the doctors and stuff like that. And I've done 2 matches again since I've come back, and I felt good and I had fun. But I just don't feel that pressure like I used to put on myself to keep going, keep going,
Hmm.
keep going. I'm gonna do it on my timeline now when I want, instead of that like mental, like I need to do this for the students. I need to do this for the rest of the world to see. I don't need to do anything. I do it when I want. So if I want to do a fight and fight to win, I'll do a fight and fight to win. If I want to do a fight in Fuji, I'll do a fight in Fuji. If I want to do an IBJJF again, I'll do an IBJJF again. But I'm going to do it on my timeline at this point, and I'm not going to put any extra pressure on myself to get out there and do it. When I do get out there and do it, you best believe I'm coming for that blood. All right, because that's the only way I know. I'm coming hard and I'm coming direct. But I'm not going to sit in that training camp mode 9 months out of the year like I was doing before. I'll pick 1 or 2, maybe 3 out of the year, take that month and a half to 2 month training camp or a month training camp and put myself a little bit, be ready for a match or a tournament, and that's it. Enjoy the moment. That's what I wasn't doing before. I wasn't enjoying the moment. I was always in some type of injury or a head injury or a different body part, and it wasn't enjoyable. It was becoming more of a job and a stressful pressure situation, and I was giving myself all types of anxiety because, and not this, I'm not sounding arrogant or any of this, but I was winning so that instead of thinking about going into the next tournament like I just want to win, it was thinking, oh shit, what if I lose? What's it going to feel like? And I started thinking negative
Hmm.
instead of that positive. And then the anxiety attacks were coming, and then this extra pressure. And then I had to, man, it's just no one's gonna dislike me or hate me any more than they already do, or lose interest because I lose a match. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had to reset a whole bunch of different things in my mind, and that's where I'm at now. So I took away that anxiety, took away that self pressure, and just have fun with it at this point. But like I said, I'm still coming hard if I'm out there in front of you. You better believe it.
How did you deal with that? How did you get to that point where you were taking away that anxiety? Because I know that's something that so many, I mean, even people at white belt, they have that like, I have to go out and perform. I have to go win.
Yeah. I went and I talked to a sports psychologist a little bit because these are some things that maybe I just couldn't get through myself. And I got some really good ideas from a sports psychologist. He gave me just ways to work around that anxiety and that unnecessary pressure. And it was just a process. I just stepped back from the whole thing for a little bit. Obviously, I had to recover for some injuries and stuff like that. So I was out for about a year, but that was a long year of learning how to reassess everything. And once I realized there was things in life that were so much more important than a medal,
Hmm.
kind of made things a little more realistic for me, if that makes sense to you. Um, but the way I look at it now is when I'm fighting or I'm in that tournament, I'm in that match, that medal is the most important thing at that moment.
Hmm.
But 24/7, it's not the most important thing when I'm not in that zone. And
That makes sense.
that's what I had to learn how to separate a little bit. I think I became obsessed and I was putting too much self pressure on myself.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that's so easy to do in jiu-jitsu, especially when you win. It's
Yeah.
if you go out and you lose all the time, at some point or another, you're gonna be like, it's just part of it, right? But if you,
You're gonna get
man,
that W and be like, yeah,
if
yeah,
that is, yeah, it's exactly what it is too, though. It's just so like that winning almost becomes addicting, and then you're like, I got to do this forever. It's part of your identity. Oh, Jared's a winner. He's got to go out and he's got to beat everybody, And
Yeah. And then they become obsessed with it for social media. They become obsessed with it for Instagram. They become obsessed with it for Facebook. And like, you're not just doing it for yourself at this point. You're not just doing it. You're doing it for the people that are following you. And then you're just missing the whole point of it. Like you said, you're doing it. It's like becomes your self-identity. And like, it's not even real. You know what I mean? It's not even real. So that's why I just had to step back a little bit and I just be coach and every once in a while competitor again and most importantly dad. That you know what I mean? Just let's focus on the most important stuff, So that's where I'm at right now.
That's cool, man. So you said you've owned BJJ United for 18 years?
18 years this week, yeah.
Oh man, that's really cool. Well, happy anniversary for the gym, man. So
Thank you.
What made you start teaching? What was your reason behind that?
Well, I was teaching when I trained under Steve Maxwell back in the day. I was teaching. He put me in charge of the morning classes, so I was teaching the 7 a.m.s or the 7:30 a.m.s. I can't remember the time, but it was early. It was early mornings, and then some changes took place in the academy over a few years there. And then I decided that over some time, it was time to kind of leave and do my own thing. I thought I could it was time to branch out a little bit, spread the wings. So I opened BJJ United in 2002. Yeah, 2002. And then, so I was already teaching at my first school. So it was a natural progression for me. If you hear now it's my dog drinking the water bowl right next to me, by the way. I'm not sure if it's coming through on your end.
That's okay. I can hear it.
Hey, Indy, stop. All right. Yeah, sorry. That's my girl right here. Yeah, she is. So that wasn't me, people. It wasn't me licking or doing anything weird. That was my dog. So it was a natural progression. Once I started, here, Indy, don't eat now. Go. She's going to start eating out of her bowl now.
She's fine, man. Look, the show is called the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show. It's not the most serious thing in the world, All
right. Chow down, girl. Chow down. So it was a natural progression once I opened up BJJ United just to teach and stuff like that. And that was that, and it became my job, and that was it. Teaching, developing good students and just students and competitors and just a good mix of everything,
That makes sense. Do you feel like there is anything that you guys do, whether curriculum wise or teaching style wise, that maybe is different from other places?
Yeah, we keep it, I wouldn't even say curriculum wise. We definitely have a more disciplined environment. Once it's mat time, it's mat time. It's definitely a respectful environment. There's no real horseplay on the mat. We try to limit any type of we try to keep respectful martial art once we're on the mat. Even as, you've heard me discuss before, like make sure people have the same color top and bottoms on. All blue gi, all white gi. We try to limit the superhero outfits and attire because it's just, I don't know. Some people dig it, no knock on them, but I don't dig it. You know what I mean? So it's a respectful environment. Everybody trains. We limit the sideline stalking. You know what I mean? And if you come into my school, you see all the black belts still taking class, which is an extremely important thing as well. So you'll come into class some days and there'll be more black belts taking class than there will be other belts. And people walk in and they're amazed by that. But if you've only been to our school and my students, it's nothing new to them. You know what I mean? Some of my students visit other schools and they see all the black belts stretching on the side of the mat, not drilling, not participating. They come to me and they're like, Coach, is this normal? You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, at some places, I guess, but we only know our way. So I think it just comes down to a respectful, disciplined environment. That's all.
That's cool. I think so often gyms and those gym environments, they come from the top, right? So if, like guys that are respectful, They're going to have a respectful environment, you know what I mean? And, it tends to be guys that are arrogant tend to breed arrogant students, you know? I assume I've actually never been to your gym, but I assume everybody's really mean and will break my arm twice in a day.
No, they're not going to be. Actually, everybody's really nice, but it's just hard training. And it's constant pressure coming forward. And maybe if you're lucky, it'll break your arm 3 times in a day. But they'll about it, you know. But no, that's all it is. And some people, like, you'll get visitors from other local gyms and they think it's like we're out to kill them, but it's not. It's everybody gets the same treatment, whether you're a student or not a student. People aren't leaving hurt. It's just constant pressure. That's all it is. It's that pressure that they're not used to, of people coming, guard pass, sweep. Like, they're used to that playing around and just like maybe getting in a positional exchange here and there, you know. But here, my guys are coming, and it's a different cardio. It's a different pace. It's a different pressure. And once you adapt to that, you're going to get better. That's all. That's all it is. It's not personal. People take it personal. People take, in Philly, there's certain schools that they don't even let their students put pressure, jaw pressure, to like turn the head away on guard pass because they think it's personal and it's mean. Like, cuz, what are you teaching? That's like, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, pressure. You're not allowed to do pressure. What are you doing? You should get smacked for that. No offense. You know what I mean? You should get smacked for that. So yeah, just little things like that. It's not personal. It's just hard jiu-jitsu training. It's clean jiu-jitsu training. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's just how we do it. Our style might be different than the next style down the street, but we're not obsessed with bashing or bad-mouthing anybody else down the street. We're not even thinking about that. You know what I mean? We're thinking about our product that we got going on right in front of us, and we're going to do it the best we possibly can.
That makes perfect sense to me, man. I think, people can tend to be, because jiu-jitsu can use finesse, people can almost overuse finesse, right? They can almost, overuse not having to fight a little bit, but you still are in a fight, you know?
Yeah. Trying to choke you, they're trying to arm lock you, they're trying to leg lock you, they're trying to break your limbs. So like, yeah, this is a fight. It's a different type of fight. It's a grappling match. You're in combat with another human being, you know? So it's a physical sport. You know, injuries are going to happen. Things happen. So, but like, I don't know. All I want is a great family environment with a great bunch of guys who are willing to train hard and not take that hard training personal. That's all. And that's what we've bred from the top. Look out for one another, train hard, make everybody the best level possible. That's all.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, so we're getting to the point in the podcast where we like to play a little bit of a game. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, let's play.
Okay, so the game is called Take It or Leave It. Okay? So how the game works is I make a statement, and you can take it, which means you agree with it, or you can leave it, which means you disagree. And we'll talk a little bit about it, right? Okay. So, we'll just get into the game and we'll just kind of experiment with it. So, first off, take it or leave it. The Eagles win the Super Bowl this year.
Take it.
Take it?
Is it probably going to happen? No, but I'm taking it anyway, just because it sounds good. Go ahead.
Okay. How did you feel about the would you have rather had Nick Foles or Carson Wentz? What is your opinion on it?
What, this season?
Just in general, when they let Nick Foles go, they didn't train him, right? They let his contract run out, I believe.
Jaguars got him. And I think he actually just signed with Chicago, believe it or not.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a tough one for me, to be honest with you. Do I think Wentz is the all-around better physical quarterback? Yes, but he seems to be the most injury-prone quarterback I've also experienced thus far. And from what I understand, his tools are amazing, but he's not the best leader in the room. That's what I hear too. I got some friends too that are former Eagles or still close to the Eagles and stuff like that. So I get a little inside scoop of what's going on a little bit. So. Hey, stand by 1 second. I'm letting my dog out.
Okay, you're good.
All right, all right. Go, girl. All right, she's outside. Good. All right. Oh shit. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Do I think Foles could take us to another Super Bowl right now? No, because I don't think he has the tools. It's going to be a rebuilding phase the next few years. Do I think we're going to win a Super Bowl in the next few years? No. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're both. I just found Foles to be a better leader. I think the guys followed him. They believed in him. They followed him. Wentz, I don't see that. I don't see that following. That's all. But he's special. He's amazing. But just that vibe, I'm not feeling. You know what I mean?
I totally understand. I get it. All right. So next, take it or leave it. Everyone should flow roll.
Leave it.
Leave it. What? I thought you were a big advocate for the flow rolling movement.
Nah, man, I'm not into that. Like, as I get a little older, I'm not gonna go back on my ways a little bit. You know what I mean? Could it be a healthy warm up thing nowadays? Yeah, all right, sure, but it shouldn't be and I'm not being a hypocrite here, when I was out there a few weeks back, we had the first roll and we trained a little bit. It wasn't the hardest training, me and you know what I mean? It was a little flowy, but it might have been aggressively, technically, there was a little pressure involved, so I wouldn't call it all flow. There you go.
Okay, I like it. I actually didn't. Go ahead.
No, so I don't know. That was just my opinion on it,
So this is actually, I'm not sure if you even remember, but my first time meeting you, I believe, was at Respect 2, maybe like something like that. And we were both on the same card, and I was flowing with somebody to warm up, and you were like, "What are you doing? We don't flow roll, dude. What are you doing?" And that was, I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I won't do it. I'm sorry."
Nah, I mean, I haven't softened up or eased up a little bit, but all jokes aside, for like a little warm up for a few minutes or something to get like the blood flowing a little, it's not a bad thing, I guess. But just like, I'm not into choreographed katas and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to train. There's other ways to warm up. I'm just not into like that. I'm not into it. Some guys are into it. I'm not going to knock them for it. You know what I'm saying? But is what it is. Not my thing.
I get it. All right. So take it or leave it. You've never had a Philly cheesesteak unless you've been to Philly.
I'll take it.
So there's no I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on them. Is what makes them different?
All right. So there's definitely other Philly cheesesteak places across the country. All right. There is. And there's people who have moved from Philly to open up Philly cheesesteaks across the country. For sure. There is. No doubt. But it's you got to be in the city. You got to be in the area. You got to order it properly. You know what I mean? You got to, hey, I want the pizza steak without. I want the pizza steak with. I want the pizza steak with. And unless you get that full experience at Pat's or Gino's or Steve's or Ishka Bibbles or one of the good spots or whatever, Tony Luke's, then you don't know.
Then you don't know. Okay, I like it. I dig it.
Yeah. All right, stand by. Let her back in.
You're good.
Come on, get in here. Yeah, so you unless you stood in line and had that stress of that counter person calling next, and you're freaking out, not knowing how to order, and you think you're going to be able to pay with a credit card, but it's cash only. Yeah, you got to feel the anxiety and the stress of that before you had a real Philly cheesesteak.
I get it. It's an experience. It's more than just the sandwich, man. I get it. I get that.
If I go to St. Louis to get a Philly cheesesteak, you're gonna be all polite and nice. And hey, how you doing today? Oh, you're from Philly? Oh, yeah. Nah, I want that stressful experience where you got to know what you want when you get to the counter, cash in hand. That's it.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Okay. So I got one last take it or leave it for you. And then one question to finish. But take it or leave it. TAC Team will be on the world's podium one day.
Take it.
I dig it. Where will they be at on the podium?
We got to work our way up. We're doing some good things now. We've been getting on the local podiums. Like we won Chicago. We got second in Chicago. We placed in Cincinnati. The next goal is going to be New York. I want to place in Boston. I want to place in Atlanta. I want to place everywhere, to be honest with you. We got the firepower in the younger guys and the masters at this point to actually really make some noise. But it's just a matter of getting the whole crew together where we come with those numbers. And because the firepower is there, without a doubt, in all the belts. We have some real A-level guys on the team. We got you, we got Leighton, we got Calvinese, we got, the names are pretty heavy from all the belts, the black belts, and our masters team's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you think about it. We have a lot of sick masters guys. We can make noise at the Masters Worlds this year if we wanted to. We just got to get the whole group together. But yeah, it will happen. It will definitely happen. It's just a matter of coordinating it properly and getting those numbers there where we start meddling in every category.
That makes sense, man. That's good. I dig it. Okay, so last question. We always finish with this question on the show. The scenario is I am at a Jared Weiner seminar. I'm a 4-stripe white belt. And I raise my hand during question and answer, and I say, hey, how do I suck less at jiu-jitsu?
How do I suck less at jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
And so we're in the Q&A part right there, and they hit me with that question.
Yeah, and you're allowed to dog me like you do on sometimes when when people do Q&A at your seminars. I've been to your seminars.
So how do I suck less at jiu-jitsu? I'm just going to be like, man, you just got to, have fun. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Don't put too much stress on yourself. You're not going to learn everything in one day. Make sure you listen to everything Kyle Watson says to you, all right, because he is just a man of gems and wisdom, all right? So, just follow Watson's lead. Follow McKinney's lead. You know what I mean? Follow these guys' leads, and I promise you they're not going to take you in the wrong direction. That's all. That's what I tell the guy or girl, whoever it is asking me. But yeah, that's what I would tell them. How do I suck less? Just train more, have fun, be consistent, follow Watson and McKinney into the darkness or the light, whichever works better for you.
Whichever one you're following. I get it.
Yeah, whichever one you're following. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Those are the questions I have for you. Do you have anything you want to say to finish?
I just, it's weird times we're in right now. You know what I mean? Hopefully we get out of this soon. I want everybody to just stay safe, stay healthy, try to be happy, stay positive, support one another, have faith in your gyms. We're going to be all back open soon, no matter what affiliate you train at, no matter what school you train at. We'll get through this, and just support one another. You know what I mean? On a human level, not just a jiu-jitsu team level, because at this point, this is way bigger than that. And then just listen to your local government's rules and regulations, and just try to stay healthy and protect your elder ones, especially out there right now. All right, that's what I got to say. Keep drilling, keep training, have fun, laugh. And let's keep this thing moving forward. All right, guys?
Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Josh. Be safe.
And that is the episode. Thank you guys for checking this one out. Like I said, we're going to be having Jared on again, hopefully very soon. And I can't wait to follow up on this, but also just the topics that we have for the next one, I'm really excited about, because we've been doing a lot of back and forth about this could actually be very relevant for the jiu-jitsu community in general to talk about. And so I'm so excited. I'm so pumped for that. But that being said, we're kind of strolling on the podcast. We're about to head into the Jiu-Jitsu Is series. It starts on Thursday, and I am so excited to share this one with you guys. I've been working on it for a long time, and I just really let my nerd flag fly on this episode. And so I'm very excited about doing those, very excited about what's coming in the future. But I thought I would tie into the end of this episode just a little story for you guys. And I kind of, it's just, I could have started this episode with this, but I don't know. I just kind of thought I would put it at the end. But kind of the story goes with us, and just I really wanted to stress who Jared is, and this is why I want to have him on again. When I and my coach, I've been under the same coach forever. Like from day one, I've been under Kyle Watson. And there was this point where Kyle, he didn't have an affiliation. We were affiliated with nobody, and the opportunity for Watson Martial Arts to just be its own affiliation and us just do that, it was kind of there. And, and that was kind of the plan for a long time. And for me, I was always Kyle's main competitor. It was always his, one of his highest ranking belts. And I was always one of his main competitors. And so, especially when it came to competition team stuff, when it came to affiliation stuff, he was very, very, big on, kind of getting my opinion. And I also had a school at this time too. And so it affected my school too. And my answer to new affiliation was always absolutely no. Why would we do that, Kyle? Why not just it be me and you? And that was always my answer. And people, Kyle has a huge gym and has could have been a huge part of somebody's affiliation. And so people were asking often, Kyle, why don't you just come under us? And the answer was always no. And then I got to be around Jared, and I've been around him a few other times, but got to be around him during a weekend where he taught a seminar at Kyle's. And he, great content, great seminar, but just who he is as a person, as just somebody leader-wise, I just really, really like, really, really respect. And Kyle actually asked my dad and I to breakfast like the next Monday before we went and trained. And he's like, hey, Jared is going to start up TAC Team again. And or really just get it going. He wants to build the affiliation. And he's like, and Mark in Chicago. And keep in mind, I came up competing against Mark's guys. Kyle came up competing against Mark. And he's like, Mark Vives, that is. And he's like, he's going to join the team. And Jared is really trying to get us to do it. And without hesitation, I was like, yes, let's do it. I'm in. I'm sold. Kyle's like, really? I really thought that, he's like, I want to do it, but he's like, I really thought I would have to try to convince you. And I'm like, no. Always, it was like everyone would ask us, hey, join our team because it would benefit us because you guys have a big school. You have a few schools now. You would be a great piece of our affiliation. It would benefit us. But with Jared, he's such a good leader. I recognized immediately this would benefit Kyle and I. This would benefit it. It united us in the Midwest. And now there are all these other Midwest affiliations of TAC Team. Now we just came off winning Chicago Open, St. Louis Open, and Kansas City Open. Chicago Open was gi and no gi, and we won both. And Kansas City Open, IBJJF, the overall of the team award. And that was never an option when I was the only Watson martial arts guy competing at Chicago Open. And now it's this thing where we have this team. And, it just kind of, to me, is just a little note on his leadership and on who he is. And that is why, when he comes on the show, we are going to look at that coach-student relationship that we talk about. And just this next generation and how to be whatever respectful actually is, how to be respectful to the generation above you if you are younger coming into jiu-jitsu and the people that all came before you. And I just kind of a little pre-sale to those episodes that we're going to be doing. And I think you guys will like those episodes. But that being said, I will talk to you guys on Thursday when we start our Jiu-Jitsu Is series. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope it was helpful for you, and I hope that it helps you guys suck just a little bit less in Jiu-Jitsu. Have a great day, guys.